Diddy Combs case almost complete. Prosecutors are preparing for opening arguments on Monday, but they admit there's a snag.
There's been a delay in jury selection in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, the judge postponing the last phase of the process.
Witnesses have gone missing, jurors are backing out, and Diddy's trial just got delayed. What's really going on? Word on the street is that Diddy isn't just sitting idle. He's allegedly targeting key witnesses and even planning to sue his former bodyguard for speaking out against him. But the plot thickens. Cassie is scheduled to testify against Diddy this week, and now reports are leaking that she might need witness protection. Why? Is Diddy really going to these extreme measures to silence people? And it doesn't end there. Witness number 3 has disappeared without a trace, and jurors are reportedly scared to speak up against Diddy. So what's happening behind closed doors? Why is everyone so afraid? Let's break it down and uncover the truth.
Of a jury in the Sean Diddy Combs case almost complete. Prosecutors are preparing for opening arguments on Monday, but they admit there's a snag. One of their key witnesses against the rapper appears to have gone missing. This comes as we learn that Combs' ex-girlfriend, who was seen on video being assaulted by the rapper, is pregnant.
The latest bombshell from prosecutors is shaking the case to its very core. Victim 3 has mysteriously vanished, and the most unsettling part, there are mounting rumors and reports suggesting that Diddy might be directly involved in their sudden disappearance. This isn't the first time Diddy's name has been linked to shady tactics to silence anyone who dares speak out against him. In fact, his reputation for targeting those who try to expose him is almost legendary. But here's where it gets even more chilling. Reports are emerging that while Diddy was locked up in prison, he wasn't just waiting for the trial to unfold. He allegedly made multiple attempts to contact witnesses, trying to intimidate them and possibly influence their testimonies. This behavior raises serious questions. Just how far is Diddy willing to go to control the narrative and ensure no one speaks the truth? The plot keeps thickening, and the stakes couldn't be higher in this trial.
Is a key witness in the Sean Diddy Combs trial backing out? Victim number 3, as she's called, was set to testify against the music mogul. The name of victim number 3 was going to be revealed when she took the stand, but the woman has apparently gone missing, and prosecutors say they've been unable to reach her.
People just get nervous, and this person could just be nervous and just has had second thoughts.
If the prosecutor can't find this witness, how might it affect the case?
Look, I don't think it's going to have a tremendous effect. The prosecution is going to call a number of alleged victims. So
call records from the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy is currently being held, have surfaced, revealing a disturbing pattern of behavior. Diddy allegedly tried to pay off witnesses, and in one chilling instance, he called a victim 200 times, trying to intimidate and bribe them into silence. But here's the kicker. Diddy reportedly used his family members to help cover up his tracks. He would ask them to add a victim or witness to the call, ensuring that it couldn't be traced directly to him. This is just the beginning, though. Things get even darker when we dig into the claims of his ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal. Gene received a direct message from Diddy, warning him to stop speaking out and saying enough is enough. Gene wasn't scared, though. In fact, he went on to reveal that he was contacted by someone close to Diddy who relayed the message. But Gene didn't back down. "You're right about Diddy's phone being tapped," Gene said. Reports have surfaced that Diddy's former partner, who was allegedly involved in dirty dealings, had called another group member 58 times, pressuring them to drop a lawsuit against him, but Diddy's reach didn't end there. Gene also recounted how Diddy tried to contact him, sending someone to deliver the message that enough is enough. But Gene wasn't about to play that game. "I got a call from Kirk Burroughs, but I'm not giving that guy any attention," Gene explained. Kirk told him that Diddy wanted to talk, but Gene wasn't buying it. "He doesn't want to talk to me for himself. He wants to talk to me for Diddy, and I'm not interested." Gene, knowing exactly how tight Diddy's circle is, wasn't fooled. "I've seen this guy with Puff for years. He's been with him from day one. So what does he have to say to me?" The plot thickens when Gene recalled how Kirk said, "Yo, he said enough is enough." But Gene had one question. When does enough actually become enough? Gene wasn't afraid of the industry politics. "I told Kirk, if he wants to talk to me, it's not for himself, it's for Diddy. I don't have anything to say to him. He didn't say enough to Big's mother, to Wolf's mother, or anyone else." So what does enough is enough really mean? At the end of the day, Gene made it clear, if I worried about what someone might do to me, I wouldn't be the man that I am today.
Said, Kirk told me, yo, he want to reach out to you, Gene. He want to speak to you. I said, speak to me for what? What do you want to speak to me for? If he's trying to speak to me, it's for Puff. Point blank. I know the dude. I know how close he is to Puff. He's been with Puff from day one. So he ain't got nothing to say to me, bro. But Kirk Bro did say to me that the dude said enough is enough. When do it becomes enough?
Gene Deal also revealed that he saw firsthand the extent of Diddy's abusive behavior. It wasn't until Diddy allegedly tried to drug his own girlfriend that Gene realized just how far gone Diddy truly was. Gene, who had been in close proximity to Diddy for years, tried to intervene, but Diddy didn't care. His actions spoke louder than any words, and Gene knew at that moment that trying to stop Diddy was a lost cause. Diddy's thirst for control and manipulation had reached an all-time high, and Gene's attempts to warn him fell on deaf ears. What was once a close working relationship had now become a front row seat to a man who was spiraling out of control.
I was at the New Year's party, right? I'm at the front door. I got to make sure everybody got their passes and everything like that. So then my girl and her girlfriend is in the party. So they get bottles of champagne. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking for them. After everybody comes, they close the door. So I'm going knocking in doors, looking at people. I'm looking for my kid's mother now. What the fuck, what's going on? And I'm getting hysterical. So I decided to go to the car, and I looked in the car. She was in the car asleep. She said, Gene, we started drinking the champagne, and I didn't feel good. And me and Debbie came here and went to sleep.
Gene Deal also revealed a crucial detail that gave him the ability to expose Diddy's secrets. He was the only one on Diddy's team who never signed an NDA. Unlike everyone else around Diddy, who were forced to sign non-disclosure agreements to silence them, Gene remained free to speak out. Diddy had a habit of making everyone who participated in his notorious FreakOFF parties sign NDAs, ensuring they would never speak out about what went down behind closed doors. This was all part of Diddy's web of control and manipulation. But the NDA game didn't just apply to partygoers. There were women who worked for Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment who were allegedly pimped out to other record company executives. These women, trapped in the industry's dark underbelly, were forced to remain silent about their experiences through these NDAs. Gene further opened up in an interview, confirming the level of secrecy that Diddy maintained. A lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays, especially with the internet, they have NDAs, Gene explained. That means if you work for them, if you're around them, you can't disclose any information about them. It's the same thing Diddy did with his artists when he gave them their publishing back. He'd say, I'ma give y'all your publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But not everyone played by the rules. Some artists refused to sign the NDA, and as a result, they're free to speak out about everything that went on.
Give y'all publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to.
Now Diddy's on edge, fearing he could end up behind bars. Jury selection is nearly wrapped up, and Diddy knows the walls are closing in on him. He can't escape this, and now he's turning to violence. But here's the twist. There are bigger names than Diddy involved in this scandal. If Diddy goes down, he's not going alone. Others are going to fall with him. It gets even juicier. Jurors were handed a list of celebrities who weren't even mentioned in the lawsuit, raising some serious questions about what the prosecutors are about to reveal. According to major news outlets, there's a bombshell in the making. Why exactly were celebrities like Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, and more even name-dropped during Sean Diddy Combs' trial? As jury selection for the mogul's sex trafficking trial kicked off on May 5th in New York, NBC News reported that prospective jurors were shown a list of over 100 names, celebrities and places that could come up during the trial. Among those names, A-list actors like Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and the rapper Kanye West. Now, before you start speculating, it's important to note that these celebs aren't being implicated in the case, at least not yet. The big question is, why are their names even on the list? The jurors were asked if they recognized any of the names and if that could influence their ability to be impartial. But here's the kicker. Attorneys didn't explain why these names were included. Alongside them were names of women who have taken legal action against Diddy, like his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Cassie's sexual abuse lawsuit filed in November 2023 was shockingly settled just a day after after it was filed. Then there's the case of Don Richard, a former Danity K-Nucker alum who accused Diddy of sexual misconduct in a lawsuit from September. And while Diddy continues to deny any wrongdoing in both cases, the plot thickens as more information is about to come to light.
The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The Parlor Games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy and the charges. Just today, the name Robert Downey Jr. came up in court. When a prospective juror said that he knew a Robert Downey in high school, it was kind of funny. But Robert Downey, the actor, and Diddy apparently do know each other and have been seen together in public. But Robert Downey Jr. reportedly never attended Diddy's parties. So if he does figure into this trial somehow, it's going to be a lot of news to a lot of us. Mike Myers, another favorite Canadian.
While some of Diddy's closest friends are being dragged into this mess, others are already distancing themselves from the spotlight. They know just how ugly the backlash is about to get. The situation is growing worse for Diddy. He's been offered a plea deal to rat out everyone he's been involved with, and now these alleged criminals are feeling the heat. One notable figure, Bishop T.D. Jakes, made a shocking move. He stepped down as the lead pastor of the Potter's House megachurch just days after it was revealed that Diddy was given this deal to turn on his associates. Talk about things getting real fast. But wait, there's more. In breaking news, for the first time in history, a sitting mayor of New York has been indicted for crimes. ABC News is reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. The exact charges are still under wraps, but federal authorities have been hot on his trail, issuing subpoenas for documents and even cell phones. Some of Adams' staff members have already resigned, and yes, some of them are also connected to Diddy. This is shaking things up, and now T.D. Jakes, who's been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a guiding voice to thousands, has decided it's time to pass the baton to a new generation. The plot thickens.
It was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
Things just took a terrifying turn in the Diddy trial, with witnesses no longer safe and fear spreading fast. The entire jury selection process has been thrown into chaos. Federal authorities have now postponed the trial, realizing that witnesses need full-on protection just to stay alive. Reports from top news outlets confirm it all. This isn't just courtroom drama, this is straight-up survival mode. One reporter literally walked out of the federal courthouse saying, "There's still no jury." Why? Because people are backing out. One juror straight up quit over the weekend, saying the pressure was too much. Another was disqualified for hiding a lawsuit he's involved in with New York City. That's how shaky things are. On Monday morning, they're expected to bring back 43 potential jurors and strike them down fast so they can finally start opening statements. But that's not even the scariest part. Every delay is being caused by real fear. These jurors are starting to understand the weight of what they're dealing with, and many don't want to risk their safety. ABC's top investigative correspondent confirmed that opening statements will begin right after the final jury is sworn in, and when that happens, expect fireworks. Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura is expected to testify. She's one of the women prosecutors claim was forced into those infamous drug-fueled FreakOFF sessions. The stakes couldn't be higher. Diddy's world is collapsing, and the courtroom is about to explode.
Bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight that one juror backed out. She was like, "This is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure." They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case started, and I will be here every day in the courtroom.
They say prison humbles a man, but in Diddy's case, it only sharpened his game. You'd think getting locked up would put an end to the circus, but no, this is where the real movie begins. From inside his Brooklyn cell at MDC, Diddy allegedly began operating like a mafia boss behind bars, running a full-scale witness silencing campaign using burner lines and dirty money. Leaked federal reports and media outlets are now confirming what insiders have been whispering for months. Diddy was using prison phones registered to other inmates to make hundreds of secret calls. Not 1, not 10. We're talking about 200 plus calls, with one woman alone getting over 50 missed calls from Diddy's ghost numbers. And what was the purpose? To buy silence, plant fear, and shut down anyone daring to testify. And that's just scratching the surface. One accuser claimed she was approached with $10,000 to disappear. And just like that, her case vanished into thin air. Prosecutors aren't even hiding it anymore. Court documents now confirm that Diddy paid off a witness who posted a public statement online, allegedly crafted to poison the jury pool before the trial even began. Even scarier, some reports claim he tried to reach victims repeatedly, like a digital stalker from behind bars. And why is this happening? Because the stakes have never been higher. Diddy isn't just protecting himself, he's the firewall shielding an entire corrupt ecosystem made up of industry moguls, artists, and political players. Jay-Z's name came up for a reason, and now people are wondering who else has something to hide. Diddy was reportedly offered a plea deal in exchange for naming names, and the panic that offer created was instant. Suddenly, big names began ducking the spotlight, pastors resigning, politicians indicted, celebrities going radio silent, and the victims? They're terrified. One woman said this isn't just witness tampering, this feels like a warning. She described the paranoia of living with a target on her back. She even recalled when a friend of hers was murdered under mysterious circumstances, with rumors of a $250,000 bounty floating around. Another witness allegedly had $150,000 on their head just for being too close to the truth. So when people back out of testifying last minute, it's not just cold feet, it's fear, raw, choking, real fear. Prosecutors are now arguing that with Diddy's $75 million empire still intact, releasing him would be like handing a wolf the keys to the henhouse. And they have a point. If he can pull this off from inside a jail cell, what could he do if he were free? The government is shaking. The industry is panicking. And behind the scenes, it's not just about sex trafficking anymore. It's about who gets named, who gets exposed, and who goes down next. The question isn't just, will Diddy go to prison? It's how many powerful people is he protecting? And how far will they go to silence the truth? Because the deeper you dig, the darker it gets. This isn't just a scandal anymore. This is the unraveling of a celebrity crime syndicate hiding in plain sight.
Even while behind bars in Brooklyn. Prosecutors filed papers overnight saying a jail sweep uncovered evidence. Combs recently paid off an unnamed witness who had posted a statement to Instagram in what prosecutors say was an effort to try and taint the potential jury pool. The filing also accuses Combs of using phone accounts for at least 8 other inmates. Combs' legal team continues to ask the judge to give him a bail option, but prosecutors are again arguing bail.
Just when you thought Diddy couldn't sink any lower, his legal team decided to play the oldest, dirtiest card in the book: blame the victim. Yep, you heard that right. In a jaw-dropping move that's making courtroom insiders wince, Diddy's attorneys have officially announced they'll try to paint Cassie not as the survivor, but as a violent aggressor. According to them, Diddy wasn't the monster in this twisted story. No, he was just a poor man defending himself. Imagine the audacity. After years of mounting evidence, leaked court documents, and that now infamous security tape showing him brutally assaulting Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel hallway, Diddy's camp now wants the court and the public to believe this was all just a two-way street. Mutual violence, they say, not abuse, just a toxic, equally violent relationship. Really? The same man caught on video dragging, kicking, and smashing Cassie into furniture is now trying to act like he was the victim too? They're even bringing in 2 new cell phone recordings and an uncut version of the CNN hallway footage, claiming the original tape was misleading and taken out of context. As if there's any context where stomping on your ex can be justified. It's courtroom spin at its dirtiest, and the timing couldn't be more calculated. With public opinion turning and witness testimonies piling up, Diddy's team is throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. They've even submitted a letter to the court arguing that the violence was mutual, framing it as a volatile relationship where domestic incidents happened on both sides. And just like that, the defense went from denial to deflection. They're not even denying the abuse anymore. They're admitting it, but trying to twist it. Yes, he hit her, they say, but she hit back. And the judge, even they had to pause for clarification, asking the defense flat out, so your argument is that both parties were violent? Diddy's attorney responded without flinching, That's correct, Your Honor. But the public isn't buying it, because while Cassie may have her flaws, what we've seen on that footage, what's been testified by insiders, and what's still coming out in this ever-deepening trial makes one thing clear. Diddy is not the victim here. He's a billionaire mogul backed into a corner, grasping for legal straws while drowning in allegations of abuse, coercion, and cover-ups. And now, in this courtroom circus, his final trick is to gaslight the woman he hurt. But in the age of leaked videos and relentless media exposure, the truth doesn't stay buried for long. No matter how many tapes his lawyers correct, no matter how many narratives they try to spin, the world already saw what Diddy did, and no PR stunt or courtroom theater is going to make that image disappear. Just when we thought Diddy had exhausted every excuse in the book, his legal team pulled another jaw-dropping twist from their playbook. This time, they're not just blaming Cassie. Oh no, they're blaming the drugs. That's right, Diddy's attorneys are now arguing that he shouldn't be held responsible for his actions because he was too high to know what he was doing. According to his defense, Diddy's mental state at the time of the alleged crimes was so impaired by drugs and alcohol that he lacked the cognitive ability to even understand that what he was doing was wrong. You heard that correctly. Diddy's trying to dodge accountability by claiming his billionaire brain was just too blitzed out to function, and they're not stopping there. In true Hollywood fashion, he's even bringing in a medical expert, a hand-picked doctor who's ready to testify under oath that Diddy's drug use affected his memory and judgment to the point where he couldn't form the intent to commit a crime. Like some kind of remix of the "I was drunk, bro" defense, but with lawyers, expert witnesses, and federal charges on the line. And prosecutors, oh, they're not having it. In a fiery legal move, they filed an official opposition against this bizarre defense strategy, calling it what it is: a weak attempt to dodge guilt through distraction. They're pointing out the obvious. This isn't about temporary intoxication. This is about a long pattern of abuse, manipulation, and intimidation. And no amount of weed smoke or Ciroc cocktails is going to erase that, and it gets even deeper. Diddy's defense is also trying to discredit the infamous hallway beating footage by claiming it was altered. Yep, they've lined up a forensic video expert who's ready to testify that the tape showing Diddy assaulting Cassie was edited or manipulated. But prosecutors are already moving to block that testimony too, saying it's just another stunt, another attempt to distort the truth and confuse the jury. The message is clear. Diddy wants to paint himself as a man under the influence, mentally fogged, manipulated by substances, not malice. But the problem is, this isn't a one-night mistake. This is a history, a pattern, a lifestyle of abuse, control, and power games. And the more his defense team tries to twist the narrative, the more desperate they look, because the public and the prosecutors know exactly what's happening here. Diddy isn't out of his mind. He's just out of excuses. At this point, it's not even a question of whether Diddy is guilty. The man is just throwing legal spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. After being cornered by mounting allegations, damning footage, missing witnesses, and even claims of jury tampering, now he's trying to lie, spin, and squirm his way out of jail like it's a bad episode of Law & Order Hip Hop Unit. And guess what? Even his own legal team is tapping out. That's right, Diddy's longtime lawyer, the one who stuck by him for over 20 years, just bailed out like a pilot from a burning jet. Anthony Rico, a major player on Diddy's defense team, officially asked the court to remove him from the case, citing that he could no longer effectively serve as Diddy's attorney. That's not a subtle move. That's the legal equivalent of saying, "I've seen the receipts, and I'm not going down with this sinking yacht." His motion to withdraw, filed back in February, was vague on purpose. He didn't spill the full tea in court papers. But if you read between the legal lines, it's clear. The case is unwinnable, and Rico wants out before the Diddy bomb explodes any further. And here's where it gets even messier. Diddy didn't just lose a lawyer. He lost the entire powerhouse law firm that had repped him for decades. Grubman Shire, Mycellus, and Sachs, the same firm that handles global megastars like Madonna, The Weeknd, Usher, Chris Brown, Bruce Springsteen, and even Paul Simon, officially dropped Diddy like a hot potato in a federal courtroom. This is a firm run by Alan Grubman, one of the most influential entertainment lawyers in the world. A man so connected, he literally helped found the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Diddy was friends with this man, friends with the firm. He'd been a client for over 2 decades, and now they've ghosted him. Why? According to a jaw-dropping report from News Nation, the firm was under massive pressure from another A-list celebrity client, Lady Gaga. Allegedly, she gave them an ultimatum: drop Diddy or I drop you. And when the mother monster speaks, billion-dollar law firms listen, because even loyalty has a price, and Diddy's scandal baggage just got too toxic to carry. So now here he is, facing sex trafficking charges, losing legal allies one by one, and looking more alone than ever in a courtroom that smells blood. The man who once ran Bad Boy like a king now can't even keep his lawyers in the room. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what it looks like when the empire starts to crumble. And let's be real, Diddy is shaking. Behind those designer sunglasses and fake courtroom calm, the man is nervous, paranoid, and doing everything in his power to scrub the evidence clean before it all comes crashing down. He's been trying to get ahead of the storm for months, and now his legal team is challenging the very foundation of the investigation, the search warrants. That's right, Diddy's lawyers are now claiming the warrants used to raid his homes in Los Angeles and Miami were unconstitutional. They're arguing that the feds overreached and that every single item they seized, from his electronics to his iCloud to even his NYC hotel suite, should be tossed out. Basically, he's saying, forget what you found, it doesn't count. But let's be honest, if you weren't hiding anything shady, why are you panicking about what they took? According to insiders, Diddy's camp is accusing the government of painting a grossly distorted picture of reality and relying on salacious claims from unnamed producers. But the feds, they're not buying it. Not after those SWAT-style raids where agents stormed his mansions with guns drawn, collecting hard drives and phones like receipts at a tax audit. And the tension is sky high. As jury selection kicked off, all eyes were on Diddy, who showed up in a crewneck sweater and button-down shirt, looking like a man who hadn't slept in days. According to courtroom sources, he even had to ask the judge for a bathroom break, because yeah, even billionaires get the jitters when the walls start closing in. But what really shocked everyone, the celebrity names being tossed around in court. We're talking Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, Kanye West, and of course, Cassie Ventura, the woman at the center of it all, expected to testify about years of alleged abuse, manipulation, and drug-fueled control. Diddy, of course, still claims she was a willing participant in what his lawyers disturbingly called freak-offs, while prosecutors say she was coerced and exploited. And guess who else showed up? Celebrity legal heavyweight Mark Garagos. Although not officially on the case, he's advising Diddy's team during jury selection. His daughter, Tenny Garagos, is one of Diddy's lead attorneys, but with legal heavy hitters walking away from the case like Anthony Rico, who said under no circumstances could he keep representing Diddy, even this legal dream team is looking more like a disaster squad. Between leaked videos, silenced witnesses, and these desperate attempts to suppress evidence, Diddy's fighting like a man who knows the truth is just one court date away from going public. The real question now isn't whether this house of cards is going to collapse. It's who's going down with him. And trust me, this circus is far from over. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Adam Gossip for the next jaw-dropping update. Because if you think this was wild, you haven't seen anything yet.